Right. Hello, friends. So I thought I would just jump on here real quick because I got some new stickers in the mail. I figured this is just the easiest way to share about these stickers. Many of you know I have an Etsy shop where I sold coffee mugs in the past. And by the way, this will be the announcement. I've got more coffee mugs and I will be selling them. Look for them around the beginning of September. That's the plan. So there will be more coffee mugs. Let me grab one real quick. Let me show y'all. All right. So these are the mugs. Hello, Laura. Hello, Patty. So I just thought I would jump on here real quick. September, I have more mugs. Now I didn't sell them all back in the spring when I originally did the sale. I actually only sold part of them, and I still have more that I was just kind of saving for a fall sale. And so sometime in September, beginning of September, there will be coffee mugs available again. Hello, is it Barbara from Kenya? Hello. Running with Faith. Hello, Boston Rocks. Kimberly. Hello, everybody. So I just thought I would jump on here because, number one, I did want to let everybody know that I've decided to go ahead and sell the rest of the mugs that I had been keeping a secret. But then also I just updated my Etsy shop and I have stickers in there. I don't know if everybody knew that I had stickers, but I just wanted to show them to you real quick because I have a couple new ones that I just made available. So I've got, lots of these Cosmopolitan Cornbread stickers. I've got a simple, basic Cosmopolitan Cornbread. I've got a holographic one, so it's kind of like rainbow in the sunlight. I've got a simple logo one. I've got one that's like glitter, not real glitter because I hate glitter. It just looks like glitter around the edges. I've got the bigger Cosmopolitan Cornbread circle one. I've got another red and white logo one. Cosmopolitan Cornbread glitter. I just, lots of Cosmopolitan Cornbread ones, of course. But this is one of the new ones that I just added, and this is a design that I've been offering for years as a t-shirt, and now I have it as a sticker. Life is better with chickens. And so this is a brand new one I just added to the shop a few minutes ago. It's listed under the Cosmopolitan Cornbread stickers because there's two different listings for stickers. You got the Cosmopolitan Cornbread stickers. There's also a listing for magnets. This one right here, I Heart Cornbread. This is available as a sticker and as a magnet. So this is actually the magnet version. And then I have this one as a magnet, which is just a smaller version of that big sticker. Those are both magnets. And then I've got some faith-based stickers. I have a few left of this one. It's kind of that holographic design again, but it's a shofar. Then I've got Hallelujah, which is holographic. So it's sparkly, or it's shiny and rainbowy in the sunlight. And then I've got Yeshua, which is the glitter version. Not real glitter, of course. And then this is the other new one. It just came in the mail today. Shalom, y'all. Because after all, I live in the South, and y'all has become part of my vocabulary over the years. So yeah, I just wanted to just pop on here real quick, share about the new stickers in the Etsy shop. That's linked in the video description. And I just popped it in right there. Yes, I do have an Etsy shop. I don't do a ton with it. I mainly just have it for when I do coffee mug sales, which I don't do all the time. I did one back in the spring, and prior to that, it had been, I think, 2 years since I'd done it previously. But then I started I get these stickers made, and generally I started getting stickers, all these Cosmopolitan Cornbread ones made, just because when I run into people and I meet subscribers, I like to give them a sticker. When I have giveaways, a lot of times I'll put stickers in with them and things like that. Members of the Cosmopolitan Cornbread crew got stickers when they joined in, and all of the members who are like the upper tier, they'll get all future new stickers, which means they will be getting both of these as well. So those will be coming in the mail to them if they have sent me their mailing address, because I have members of the Cornbread crew, the membership here on YouTube, who've never sent me their mailing addresses. They've never contacted me at all, and so I have no way to send them their stickers. So if you are one of them, please mail me your email address, or your mailing address. Send me your mailing address so I can send you your stickers. That was one of your perks of the membership. Let's see. Ooh, medical examiner's office. I used to love, hold on. All right, it just said it was going to pop up an ad in there, so I'm hoping I was able to cancel that. I think it gave me the option to cancel it. What was I saying? Oh, medical examiner's office. I used to love watching TV shows like, what was one? Dr. G, I think was her name, where she did, she was a medical examiner, had a TV show. It's fascinating, very fascinating. I don't know that I could do it, but it is fascinating. All right. Yeah, I understand Debbie. She says she doesn't use credit cards. I totally get that. You can use, I don't know if you use PayPal at all. You can use PayPal with Etsy, and Etsy will actually let you make purchases now without even having an Etsy membership. You can just make a purchase as like a guest or something like that now. So it's gotten a little bit easier to use Etsy. Although I know not everybody has Etsy. It's just, I've tried to do it different ways in the past, and it was just really hard to try to coordinate it. Etsy, it figures all of the shipping for me. It does the taxes for me. It figures all that stuff out, so I don't have to try and figure out how to do it for all the different places these things get mailed to. Let's see. Yeah, I have a few other ideas for some more stickers too that have just kind of, I've got them in my head. I've just not had the time to sit down and like create the graphics for them. But over time, periodically I'll be making more stickers and things like that. In addition to the Etsy shop, I do also have a spreadshirt shop, which there should be a link for that in the video description of like all of my videos too. And that's where you can get the t-shirts. T-shirts. There are commercial coffee mugs with I think I have ones like this, different designs on there. So you can get commercial printed mugs, travel mugs, aprons. There's some aprons on there. I'm trying to remember. There's hoodies, t-shirts, all of that stuff. And there's a bunch of different designs. Of course, there's Cosmopolitan Cornbread stuff, but then there's some of the fun designs too. I think I've got one like for gardeners. I think it's like I love dirt or I heart dirt or something like that. There's some fun designs on there. And that's my spreadshirt shop. And that's linked in the video description. And those are available all the time. I do periodically change the designs that are available. There's things that are always available, like my hen and spoon logo type stuff and things like that. But then I'll add various different designs now and again. Boston Rock. So this is not something I've really talked about. Yes and no. So Boston Rocks asked if I started wearing a headscarf because of biblical teachings. I would call it more of a personal conviction. I actually spent quite a bit of time studying the scriptures and looking at teachings about it, because I started feeling very drawn to them. And I had for a long time. I just kind of just didn't pay any attention to it. I just felt drawn to them. I thought they were beautiful and feminine, and I liked them, but I never really wore them. And I talked about that a little bit in one of my videos, how, they just didn't seem like they were commonplace in our society and stuff. And so I didn't know that I would feel comfortable wearing them, but I felt drawn to them, and more so I felt drawn to them and started praying about it. And because I wasn't really convinced that that was something, well, first of all, there is no command directly in the Torah, in the law of God, in the Bible, to wear a head covering. Yes, there is the reference in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, where Paul talks about praying uncovered versus covered, how, it's a shame for a man to pray uncovered versus, and it being a shame for a woman to pray uncovered. However, there's no mandate in the Torah, because we have to remember Corinthians, all of those letters, the letters in the New Testament were letters. And so I know people might be shocked by this, but I don't give the letters the exact same weight as I do the Torah. Paul giving his opinion on something, or Shaul, which is what his name actually was, giving his opinion on something or advice on something, does not hold the weight as God's commands. And I mean, that's just how I see it. Paul's not Jesus. You know what I mean? So there is no direct command in the Bible for a woman to wear a head covering. However, it can be sort of inferred, because there is a ceremony that is described in the Torah where it talks about if a husband suspects his wife had been unfaithful, and there's a ceremony that they do. It sounds very strange, but one of the first things they do is they uncover the woman's hair. And so a lot of people will look to that and think, well, that means it can't be uncovered if it wasn't already covered. And so it's kind of inferred that women were expected to wear veils, but it's not in the Torah. And so I don't believe that it is a direct commandment. I think it was more cultural than anything else. That said, I felt really drawn to them. And I started praying about it, like, Lord, is this something that you want me to do? Because I want to be obedient, whether it's something that is in Torah or in the scriptures or not. I want to be obedient to the Father. I've had enough failings in my life. And there's been so many things that I've done wrong over the years that it's like, okay, Lord, if you want me to do something, I want to do it. I want to do the things that you want me to do, and not do the things that you don't want me to do. And I just started praying about it and kind of went back and forth about it for a while. And then one day, I was thinking about getting my hair cut, getting it styled, because the last time I got my hair cut, it was a disastrous haircut. And I've been growing it out for like a year and a half, trying to get it to where I could have my hair trimmed and get the awful haircut cut away and start fresh. Because I do want to grow my hair long, but I would like it to look nice while it's growing long. And I had been looking at hairstyles, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, if I start covering my hair, then, I won't be able to style my hair anymore. And I like being able to fix my hair and stuff like that. The very next day, I got up and I was getting ready to go about my day. And for the first time in my life, my hair was greasy. I've never in my life had oily or greasy hair. And I mean, this came out of nowhere. I didn't change my hair products. I didn't change my shampoo or conditioner or nothing. Nothing had changed. But my hair was suddenly so oily, I couldn't do anything with it. And I'm like, okay, what is this about? And so I just put my hair up and threw a headscarf on it just because I couldn't do anything with my hair. And it was like that for several days. And so I just kind of kept continuing to wear a scarf and put my hair up and all that. And I'll tell you, I think it was right around the time there was a day I had a little headscarf on and I had my hair in like pigtail braids. I think that's when it started because I didn't know what to do with my hair. It was so early. I couldn't do nothing with it. I think that's right around the time that happened. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I am supposed to do this. And so I started wearing it. And then I started hem-hawing about it. I'm like, well, maybe I was just being silly. That's just because my hair wasn't oily anymore. It lasted for several days and then it just stopped. And so I started, waffling about it. And I'm like, I think it was just my imagination. I think I'm just being silly. Maybe I don't need to do this. Maybe the Lord wasn't telling me to. The very next day, my hair was oily again. And I'm like, I was just like, that's it's just a strange coincidence. And I can't help but think that the Lord was telling me this is what he wanted me to do. And I don't know that it would be a permanent thing, but maybe it's just for a season. Maybe it's for a purpose. Maybe he's just showing me to be obedient or showing me that I need to be obedient no matter what it is. We live in a world where, maybe the Lord's going to tell you to do something and you think it's ridiculous and it makes no sense, but maybe he really wants you to do that. And we just don't know why. You know what I mean? So I want to be obedient even in the tiniest things. And so that's basically the story. It wasn't my intention for today's video, but this is that's where I'm at. Let's see. Oh yeah. Also in Genesis 24, Tracy shared 24:65. When Rebecca sees Isaac coming, she covers her hair. I understand that it is a sign of a woman being married. Yeah, she was showing that she's no longer free. She is now in covenant with her husband, and that, we don't see engagement because she was engaged. She wasn't officially his wife yet, but in that culture, engagement was just as serious as marriage. It was just, the covenant was already made. The formal agreement was already made. And so breaking that is the same as adultery. But we don't see that today in our culture, in our society in these times, but that's how it was back then. So even though she wasn't yet married to him, she went ahead and covered her hair because she's showing that indeed he is my husband now and treating him as such. So it is, yeah, you see instances of it. Sometimes I wish the Lord would be a little more clear in his commands of things that he does and doesn't want us to do. But, I believe that's what he gave us the Holy Spirit for, to be the guide and lead us into his will. Because there's no way he could have put everything in writing. Sometimes there's things that he leads us to do, and only his Spirit's going to be able to do that. So that's why I started covering my hair. And I don't feel, something that I am praying about too is I don't believe at this point that my hair needs to be fully covered and hidden. I'm not trying to look like an Orthodox Jew or anything like that. Like the other day, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, I did what was called a half wrap, where it's like a scarf that's wrapped around the top, but my hair is still exposed in the back. So I'm not feeling at this point a conviction to always have my hair covered. I just really like these scarves. I think they're pretty and they're very comfortable, and they actually make my life really easy because I can just pin my hair up, and I can just pin my hair up, throw the scarf on, and go about my day. Boston Rock says, I'm also learning about tzitzit. So I did a video I don't know if you were on that live video. It was one of my Saturday scripture reading videos. Where I talked about Zeet, and I've already downloaded that whole live stream, and I'm going to clip that part and turn it into its own video so that people can find that. And I talked about Zeet in that video and what their purpose is biblically, scripturally, and what the command was, and showed how it was in both the Old and the New Testament. Thank you for that. Thank you. I've gotten a few of these. I found a couple different places to order them from. I'm going to do a video and talk about them. The different types of scarves, or the different ones. There's some differences in them. I've gotten some off of Amazon, but there's 2 other shops that I like in particular, and I'm going to do a standalone video about that probably in the next week. But let's see. I did things. I think they're pretty, but I think they'd make me go bald. I had to wear a ball cap for work. It seemed to break my fragile hair. Yeah, a ball cap. If you have very fragile hair, I mean, wearing something on your head that does a lot of causes a lot of friction can damage your hair, especially if it's fragile. So I mean, I have my hair back in just a bun, but it's a loose bun. I can't handle my hair being pulled really tight. It gives me headaches. And so it's just kind of in a loose bun, and I use some scrunchies to hold it all in place. Just those classic fabric scrunchies. I had bought some linen from one of the Etsy shops that I get my linen things from. Dresses and such, and I don't know if they still do, but they used to sell, or when you bought something from them, they would add a little bonus thing in. And back during the vid, they actually sent linen masks that matched your outfit or whatever you purchased. And then the last couple times that I got something from them, they sent scrunchies that were made out of the exact same linen as whatever you ordered. So I just put my hair up in a bun and I hold it with those soft scrunchies. So I'm not putting a lot of pressure on my hair. I think if you're putting a lot of tension on your roots, it can damage the roots of your hair. And so that can cause people to have problems with potential hair loss or breakage or headaches and things like that. So I just, I'm gentle with my hair because, I do want to take care of it, and I do want it to grow. And be healthy and all of that. So let's see. Oh yes, Heidi from Rain Country did do a video about ZZ. I saw that. She started wearing ZZs, and I love how she created little loops on her skirts and such to connect the ZZs. I thought that was a good idea. I've seen other people do that. There was one lady who used to have a shop where she made dresses and things like that she sewed, and she would make all of the clothing with a tiny little fabric loop in like the seam where the bodice met the skirt part, where you could attach your ZZs to those. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't think she has her shop open anymore though. Yeah. Sensitive scalps. I mean, I don't use any kind of barrettes or anything that kind of dig into my scalp. I've got sensitive skin. What can I say? Oh, Debbie hasn't cut her hair in like 20 years or more. Yeah, I used to have very, very long hair down past my hips. It's been a long time since it's been that long. And I do, I would like to grow it that way again. If my hair will do it, as I've gotten older, I have found that, women of a certain age tend to have their hair get more dry, and mine has a lot. I've noticed that even when it gets like this long, the ends start getting and I mean, doing this might be able to allow my hair to grow without getting, because, I used to use blow dryers, and well, I still blow dry it a little bit, but I don't dry it fully. I dry it until it's not dripping anymore, and let it air dry. But I would use a curling iron, flat iron, stuff like that. So I was always using heat on my hair, especially when it's like mid-length, because my hair is so straight. And in the last year, I've been doing it a lot because of that bad haircut that I had. I was curling my hair all the time to hide the bad haircut. That's why I started curling my hair so much, because y'all, that haircut was so bad. It was so bad. One side wasn't even the same length as the other. It was supposed to have been a slightly layered bob, and it ended up basically being a mullet. It was awful. So I've noticed that my hair is getting rough around the edges, around the ends. And so I think if I'm covering and I'm able to put like the really good, like, what's that oil? Castor oil, black castor oil in the ends of my hair and stuff, and nourish it, it'll help it to grow and be a little more healthy along the way. So hopefully I'll be able to grow it long again like I once had it. I do miss having, like, I'll see pictures of myself with my really long hair, and it's like, oh, why did I ever cut that off? I loved it. Yeah. Boston Rock says, my hair is thick, and apparently I have a fat head because hats give me a headache. We all have different sizes and shaped heads, but pressure on the head, there's a lot of nerves in your head, there's a lot of blood vessels and everything. So I can't have tight things on my head. Those headbands that I've worn a lot the last couple years, those were the very first headbands I ever found that did not give me headaches. I've never been able to wear headbands. Anything tight on my head always gave me headaches. There's a lot of nerves in our heads. Yeah, Saved by Yahweh says, I also head cover, and at first I thought it was my imagination, but I prayed to Yah, and he showed me a couple of Bible verses, like 1 Corinthians chapter 11. Yeah. Di says, my daughter and daughter-in-laws were asking how long my hair is. I always wear it in a clip and up. Yeah. I used to be in a church where the women all had very long hair, and there were some women who always had their hair up, like you almost never saw them down. And I remember this one lady, one day she came in and her hair was down. I'd never seen it down before. She was like Crystal Gale. Remember her? I don't know if you all remember her. Her hair was to her ankles. My jaw dropped when I saw how long her hair was. I was like, whoa. And it was beautiful, and it was healthy, shiny, beautiful hair. Do you use the velveteen headband to hold the scarf in place? Yes. Okay, now this scarf has one built in. I have a bunch of these. They're pre-tied headbands or headscarves, and they actually have that velvet no slip headband built into them. The ones by Rapunzel with a W, Rapunzel, have it built in. This one here is from a website called the Scarf Bar. It has it built in. And then I do have some scarves that are just scarves. Like yesterday I did the half wrap where I had like a long rectangle one, and I wrapped it up, did the twist, and wrapped it back around. That would have never stayed on my head without one of those. And so I do have a couple of those velvet headbands. They're Velcro, so you don't have to have them tight at all. There's no elastic. You just put on, and they stay still. Like, they stay really, really still. And so I just put I have a couple of them. I've got a wide one, I have a thin one. And so I just put the thin one on, wrap that scarf over it. It never moved all day long. And was like out and about doing all the things, doing chores, doing all the things. It never moved. And in the past, I've never been able to get anything that wrapped around my head would never stay still. Never. Stocking caps will not stay on my head because they just go right off my head. But those velvet no slip headbands did a wonderful, wonderful job. And let's see. Okay, this thing just popped up that was going to put another ad in here. I'm trying to, it wouldn't let me turn off mid-roll ads. So I apologize. It wouldn't let me turn it off though. There used to be a setting where you could turn off ads in the middle of a video, and it doesn't give me that option anymore. So hopefully, yeah, anyways, I'm trying to turn them off for y'all. Yeah, Crystal Gale had beautiful hair. I remember when I was a little girl thinking, oh man, I would love to have hair like that. Yeah, Di says, I wasted so much time on my hair, cutting and fixing and worrying about it. No more. I just let it grow and put it up. Takes 5 minutes. See, that's why I want to grow my hair long again, where I can just braid it and be done, you know. Of course, the headscarves fix all that for me, but hello, Deborah. Yeah, clips. Yeah, even clips with rubber grips would slip out of my hair too, because my hair is very straight and very slick. It just never, nothing would stay on my head. Not, you know, and like ponytails would have to be so tight that it like ridiculously tight to stay put, and it's difficult. And I can't even find, I used to be able to find like those little metal barrettes that you just bend and they pop into place. They used to make them with rubber on them to keep them from snapping your hair, because they can damage your hair. And I can't find those anymore. I can only find the plain metal ones. And I had ordered some online. And I got this package of them. The metal was so sharp. I'm like, this is going to snap my hair off the first time I use them. It was terrible. They just don't seem to make all the hair products that they used to anymore, as far as, you know, putting your hair up and all of that. I don't know. Maybe it's just not the style anymore. You know what I mean? But I have found a few clips, like just hair clips to hold my hair up. I had one that was my favorite one. I wore it all the time because it held my hair well. And little Miss Willow Bean was playing with it, and she snapped it. And I was devastated because it was the last one I had of them. I found another one that's similar, and it works pretty good. It's not quite the same. I have to get it, like when I put my hair up, I've got to get it in just the right spot of my twist of hair, or it'll just go and it'll just slide right out. Okay, Lisa says, I'm not trying to be nosy, but where did you find your longer, loose-fitting linen dresses? I've been searching and haven't found any. Most of my linen came from Etsy. I have a video from a couple weeks ago where I talked about sourcing linen. You don't have to watch the video. Just go to that video, and underneath it, I put a link to my 2 favorite Etsy shops where I got my linen. Like all of my dresses. This little just like slip dress, this thing just is a house dress. This just came from Amazon. It's just a short little thing. But like my longer flowy dresses, they generally all came from Etsy. The only ones that didn't come from Etsy are a couple that I wear when the weather's much cooler. They're kind of newer, but they're like a plaid print. Like one's plaid and one's a stripe print, I think. And they're short sleeve, they're long and flowy, but they're print. There's a print in the linen. Those ones came from a shop called Pine and Smith, Pyne and Smith. They're a little pricey, not gonna lie. They're not inexpensive dresses. That's why I only have a couple of them. But they're really nice dresses. They're real, like you can tell the linen it's really good quality. But I've only got a couple of them. But I have the link for that shop and all of those shops in that video where I talk about sourcing linen. It was kind of a two-part video. I talked about something else, and then I talked about sourcing linen. I was out in the garden when I was talking. So, but you should be able to find that video and find those links. Oh, yes. Karen asked, do you have a Sally Beauty Supply close? I do. And I actually checked in there a few weeks ago, and they've got almost no hair implements. All the products, all the curling irons, flat irons, blow dryers, they've got all that stuff. But their section of like barrettes and clips was like this big. I'm not even exaggerating. Like floor to ceiling or like top to bottom rack. It was like maybe this big. There was barely anything there. I thought for sure that would be where I could find some good hair clips, but they just didn't have anything. Yeah, Debbie says that's why I don't cut mine. Can't blow dry, curl it, or perm. It's thick and slightly curly in different directions. Ponytails are my style. When I was showing my horse, I hated having to wear a hat. Oh, earrings. Thank you. So these, where did I get these? I don't remember. I don't remember where I got them. But I do know that they were, no, where did I get these? I can't remember. I've had them for years, but I changed the hook. These had, I call it a fish hook, where it's just a little hook that goes through your ear. Me and my sensitive skin, a lot of those earrings, I cannot handle them because they're touching my neck and they scrape and it hurts. And so I just took the earring apart and I took the main earring itself off. And then I have this style, and I just put it on there instead. This little thing came from Hobby Lobby. I bought a packet of these. I did this for several of my earrings. I have some earrings I just got actually from Rapunzel, which I really liked, like really pretty silver and turquoise earrings. But the hook on the back poked at my ear, couldn't handle it, so I took them off and made them, dangly drop earrings. So it worked much better. Let's see. Yeah, I do my very best to not have. That's what I was talking about in that video. But when I talk about sourcing linen, I talked about how I do try to always wear things that are 100%, preferably natural fibers, like 100% cotton, 100% linen. There's some things that you just can't find, but I do my very best with that. I wear a lot of linen because it's super comfortable. It's soft, and it softens. It gets softer and softer the more you wear it, and it breathes. And when you live in the South or you're really hot-natured, like I have become, clothing that breathes is a very good thing. And I know you have to iron linen, but that doesn't bother me one bit. I find linen very relaxing. It's just, I find it peaceful. I enjoy ironing clothing. So yeah, let's see. Sharon asked, are you back to being able to enjoy coffee? I would be devastated to have to give that up. Just recently. So I was talking with my friend Heather, needy homesteader, and we were talking about coffee one day, and I was telling her, how I can go to Fort Smith and I go to Seven Brew and I can get myself a plain latte and I can drink it and I'm fine and I don't have any problem whatsoever. But I come home and I would make coffee here and I would drink 2 sips and my stomach would start hurting. And I had tried all these different coffees. I had tried black coffee, which I don't like, but I like my coffee with my organic. It used to be half and half, but I have discovered that the half and half that I was getting was definitely causing me stomach problems. Well, I think it was causing me the stomach problems originally. This goes back to when I had Giardia years ago and had lactose problems. But anyways, we were talking about coffee, and she's like, I bet it's your coffee. And I'm like, but I've tried so many different kinds of coffee. I even tried like I special ordered low acid coffees and all this stuff, and none of them were working. And so I ordered one more coffee, one that I used to drink years ago, and they actually make it organic because I do want organic coffee. And I ordered one package of it last week, and I made myself a little bitty pot of coffee, and I drank one cup of coffee to see what was going to happen, and nothing happened. I'm like, yes. So I'm very, very happy to say I am able to drink coffee. I'm not going overboard though, because y'all, I could drink a whole pot of coffee every single day, and I used to. And I could drink coffee all day long. I can brew a pot of coffee in the evening and drink several cups of coffee and go straight to bed and have no problem falling asleep, because caffeine didn't do anything to me at all. It does not wake me up, which can be good or bad. But I love coffee. So I'm taking it easy. I'm just cherishing the fact that I can have coffee again. I am, I get up in the morning and I'm limiting myself to no more than 2 cups because I don't want to push it. But when I sit down in the morning, long before the sun comes up, with that first cup, I sit down there with my Bible and I go to take that first cup of coffee, and I'm just like, thank you, Abba, for my coffee. Every morning. Let's see. Yeah, I'm a coffee junkie. It's funny. I did not grow up drinking coffee because my parents didn't drink coffee, but I always loved the smell of it. And I love the flavor of coffee. My favorite ice cream is coffee ice cream. My favorite candy is these hard coffee candies. You can find them on Amazon, but the first time I had them, it's when my YouTube channel was brand new, long time ago. My husband was still in the Army. And I had a subscriber whose husband worked for the embassy in Colombia. And she sent me a care package from Colombia of all sorts of coffee things. And it had these coffee candies in it. I'm like, this is the best. I mean, it tastes like coffee. It was so good. So good. Sharon asks, are your headaches gone away yet from the scary Amos incident? Hope so. For the most part. I mean, I periodically get ice pick headaches. I never had them in the past. I would get the random one, like where you get one little stab and then it goes away and then that's it. And it's just kind of, comes out of nowhere and then it's gone and then you don't have any more. I've had a couple episodes where I have had just ongoing for hours ice pick migraines, and they are horrible. I mean, I've suffered with migraines for most of my adult life. Not as bad as it used to be. I used to get them all the time. I do know that the ones that I got were related to hormone fluctuations. I can just tell you that. When I was young and I was on the pill, it was debilitating. And so my doctor told me, you cannot take the pill. I'm like, so they got better, but I still dealt with them periodically. So migraines, optical migraines are something I've dealt with, but the ice pick ones are a relatively new thing. I've only had those episodes like that really bad a couple of times. I did learn though that if I take an ice pack when I'm having one of those and put it at the back of my skull where, the arteries come up, so it's cooling the blood, it actually helped. I figured that out the first bad one like that I had. I was reading about it and it recommended that, and I tried it and it seemed to help. So the next time that I had that, I did that immediately and it seemed to really cut it short. I have to go lay down and kind of relax and put ice at the back of my neck, but it seemed to help. I don't want to have to jump in and take painkillers or something like that, because half the time they don't work for me anyways. My body is very resistant to any kind of painkiller, anesthetic, stuff like that. So I feel like I'm taking if I'm taking these things, it's not really worth it. Do I really want to put stuff in my body if it's not going to do the job anyways? Let's see. Roma from the health food stores is a good substitute for coffee. It comes from Germany and is made from roasted barley. I don't think I've ever heard of that. I've heard of the mushroom one, which I tried a couple. I bought a couple sample things of it, and I couldn't bring myself to try it. I'm so squeamish about things, and I don't like mushrooms. I just, as a matter of fact, I think that packet is still in one of these drawers somewhere. But I don't think I've never heard of a barley coffee. Tracy says, just saw this on a group chat. What did you see on a group chat, Tracy? Oh, feet in the hottest water you can stand for as long as you can stand it. It will draw blood to your feet and from the head, and it will help the migraine and your feet. It's a twofer. Interesting. I've never heard that. I will have to try that. Interestingly, I just bought a foot bath thing. A friend of mine had one, and it looked pretty interesting. It's like a foot massager bath spa kind of thing. My only complaint about it, it has these little rollers in the bottom to like massage the soles of your feet. It goes in the wrong direction. It turns away from you. So depending on how you're sitting, it can like make you want to slide down into it. It should have been turning towards you so that it's like it's going against your foot, not like pulling your foot. It's just weird. So I don't know. It didn't cost a lot of money, so I might have just been sitting in the wrong chair when I used it, and it has wheels in the bottom that you can put on, which I didn't because it'd be rolling all over the place. But I will keep that in mind because you can adjust the heat, like you can turn up the temperature on it. So the next time I have a migraine, I will give that a try and see if it helps. That's a pretty cool thing. Yeah, the resistance is a redhead thing. My hair has gotten much darker as I've gotten older, but when I was young, my hair was very red, very red. As a matter of fact, when I was a teenager and had to have my wisdom teeth pulled out, I was put under. It was the first time I was ever put under for anything. I've only been put under a couple times in my life. I was put under for that, and I was waking up in the middle of it and keep me under. And then when I was having I had 3 C-sections. My second C-section, I was in, and so I already knew how a C-section was going to go. You know, I was experienced with this. I knew the drill. And I'm laying on the table, and they did the first shallow cut because they do the first cut and then they go deeper. And he did the first cut, and I'm like, I think I felt that. And then he did the second cut, and I about came off the table. I'm like, oh, I felt that. That was not a good thing. But the anesthesiologist immediately, because I had a cap on and you couldn't see my hair, the anesthesiologist immediately pulled my cap off my head and looked and said, red hair. He covered my head back up and he adjusted everything. And then I was good. And that was the first time I learned that anesthesia does not like redheads. But my hair, like I said, it's gotten a lot darker. The red isn't so obvious. You can still see it a lot out in the sunlight, but you don't see it as much anymore. It's just gotten much darker. Yeah, Karen says, mine too. It browned out, then it turned white. I hope my hair goes white someday. And I know some people might think that's crazy, but I think I was actually just talking to my friend yesterday about that. I'm like, I would love to have like silver hair. I think that would it's beautiful. I hope my hair does that. I've even prayed about, Lord, I would love for my hair to do that before I die. Let's see. I use a foot bath with some Epsom salt. Yes, absolutely. I love that. I've got, I keep Epsom salt in the house just for that. And I always want to say Epsom. Isn't it Epsom with an M salt? I don't know. Oh, thank you, Sharon. She says the story of how you and your hubby met was amazing. Passing notes in a chapel, then married soon after. Yeah, it was, looking back, it's like, How crazy that was. Oh, Wanda says, I have a problem of when I have to have surgery. I'll wake up in the middle of it. It scares the heck out of the doctor and the staff, even though they were warned. Oh gosh. Yeah, the last time I had a procedure done, it's when we lived in Alaska. Actually, that's the only other time I've been put under. I've only been put under twice. But then I've had the 3 cesareans, but I wasn't put under for those. I was put under for a procedure in Alaska, and I remember them putting me under, telling me to count backwards, and then I remember sort of waking up in the recovery room and the anesthesiologist yelling at me to breathe. And it was very surreal, the whole thing. And when I was finally like totally with it, he was like, anesthesia is not your friend. I'm like, okay. But I never got what he meant by that. I mean, because I don't remember, like, as far as I know, I didn't come to during the surgery or anything like that. But he was like, anesthesia is not your friend. And I don't know what he meant. I wish I could have had a chance to talk to him, and just ask what happened. I even looked in my medical records, and there was no notations or anything like that. So I don't know what he meant. A couple years ago, I was supposed to have a surgery, and I told the anesthesiologist about it. He's like, well, what did they mean by that? I'm like, I don't know. They didn't tell me. So I was just giving a head up that, something. But yeah. Denise says, I have white streaks now. I'm embracing it. Good for you. Good for you. Cindy, are your parents going to get to visit soon? I hope so. They were talking about coming for a visit this year. So my mother had some medical things going on last year, and because they used to come pretty much every fall. They have an RV, and they would come on down from the Wisconsin-Illinois border and come down for a visit in the fall. But last year, because of my mom having some health things going on, they weren't able to do the things that they usually do. And one of the things they do a lot of is go golfing. Golfing is not my thing, but they live for golfing. And my mom just got the ability to go golfing again not too long ago, and she is just loving it. And so she's trying to make up for lost time. And they had talked about coming down this fall, but then they had some other things going on, and they're like, we don't think we're going to be able to come down this year. So they're just going ahead and yeah, I don't think they're going to come down this year. I was talking about maybe going up there myself for a visit. I don't like going that long without seeing my parents. They're getting older, and it's tough them being so far away. So I'm hoping to get to see them before too long. If Mr. Smith would stop traveling. He's been gone a lot this year, and I know he's got several more trips coming up this year. So as a matter of fact, I've got to sit down with, he'll be home tonight. Finally, it's been 3 weeks he's been gone. I have to go pick him up at the airport. And when he gets here, we need to sit down and look at the calendar and figure out, okay, what's upcoming, what's still going on, because I need to know so I can plan. Oh gosh, Karen says, I try to crawl off the bed during recovery. Brenda, she asked where I got this particular scarf. So this one came from a website called the Scarf Bar, and I thought it was kind of cute. I thought the flowers were kind of whimsical. My favorite one is still that brown one that I have, that I wear it quite a bit. The brown one with the flowers on it, I love that one. It's just so country and rustic. And so this one kind of reminded me of it. Much brighter flowers. Well, not brighter. It's still muted tones. I'm still not, I don't like bright colors. on my head. So it's muted tones, but it's floral, and I thought this could go with a lot of things too. And I thought it really went with my blue like house dress that I have on today. But this one I just twisted it. Just kind of twisted it together, do something a little bit different. Yeah, the scarf bar is what it's called. And they have a lot of and this is one of those pre-tied scarves. So it's got the elastic in the back, so you can just throw it on and go. You don't have to you don't have to know how to tie a scarf. You just pop it on like a hat. But it's the scarf bar, and they have a whole bunch of different colors and versions. I think I've got 4 or 5 of them from as a matter of fact, I just got some in the mail today, and theirs cost a little bit less than Rapunzel's pre-tieds. But I'm going to do a video, and I'm going to talk all about the specific different scarves. I think I mentioned that in the next week or so. Denise asked, have you canned apple pie filling before? Is it difficult? I bought a bushel of Honeycrisp apples, and I'm going to process them on Saturday. Yes, I have canned apple pie filling. It's not that hard. I really don't think it's any harder than any other canning that you would do. Not hard at all. Very easy, as a matter of fact. I think really the only trick with apples is just make sure that as you cut them up, you put them in some water with some citric acid or lemon juice to keep them from browning. You just want to do that while you're, well, actually, I don't even know if you have to, I don't even think you have to do that for apple pie filling, because if you're putting cinnamon and stuff in there, you're not going to worry about the color. It's been a couple of years since I did the apple pie filling, so I don't remember if they do that or not. I know when I've done like just apples in a syrup, you do have to, you are supposed to do that. But yeah, I wouldn't stress about apple pie filling. It's not hard to do. Let's see. Hello, Georgia's Garden. Cindy says, Mr. Smith traveled for the military and now for his job too. Will he be wanting to travel when you retire for real? Oh, I hope not. Mr. Smith is a homebody. Believe it or not, he really doesn't like going places a whole lot. So now the trip that he's been on for 3 weeks was in Alabama. They needed him to come back and help with something. So I'm sure he's kind of enjoyed this trip because he's gone golfing. He's been out to dinner with several friends. I had, a couple months ago, I had a friend, a couple that we knew from Army life, came up here for a visit, and they actually just moved to Alabama. He retired from the Army. They were in Texas, and he just moved to Alabama. So Jeff was able to go out to dinner with them, Mr. Smith, and all of that. So he's been enjoying his time there because we've got a lot of friends there in Alabama. So, but the rest of his trips, you know, although I will tell you, he has complained a whole lot about the hotel that they have him staying in this time. Let's see. Needy Homesteader has a video for canning apple pie filling on YouTube. Well, there you go. Yeah, go ahead and go watch Heather's video, and watch that. You know, that's a great thing about YouTube, because you can see someone doing the exact thing that you're getting ready to do, and it kind of takes that fear factor out of it. I don't think I have a video for the apple pie filling on here. But Heather does. George's Garden says 22-year military spouse retired in 2014. Yep. Mr. Smith, Jeff, was in the Army for 25 years, and we were retired in 2016, and thought we were going to be in Alabama forever, but the Lord had other plans. Silvermane says she just ordered two headscarves from Scarf Bar. Now some of theirs are a little bit different than the Rapunzel ones. So like I said, I'm going to show, and like different from each other. So like this one is different from an ombre. How are you supposed to say that? Ombre one that they sell. The back of it's a little bit different. But like I said, next week I'll do a video and I'll talk about all these different scarves. So, but I like these, like both of the different ones that I got from Scarf Bar. I do like them. And I think they had free shipping too, didn't they? So that's always nice. Are there U-Pick farms up near Fort Smith? He had plans for us in hot Texas. I just found out about one not too far from here that does peaches, although I think I've already missed the season. I just found out about it though. So there are some here and there. I just haven't, honestly, I have not looked for them. But I know there are some around. As a matter of fact, there's a berry one not too far from here at all. I think it's over in, where did I see it? I think it's in Boonville. I think it's blueberries. Ombre. Okay, that's how you say it, ombre. Yeah, I can never remember. And I'm like, ombre's not right. Julie, were you able to pick your next level location on your own, or did work dictate the location of your move? As a contractor, are you talking about my husband and his work? When he retired from Army life, he worked the first year after he retired, he did a contract in Saudi Arabia. And they said I was welcome to come visit, but I had no interest in going there. I don't know, because all the things I was hearing my husband talk about that was going on over there, I'm like, I have no interest in going there. So he was gone for a year. It was a specific contract. He worked for an aviation company over there and then came back, and he has been working as a contractor ever since for another aviation company. This one, well, he worked for two. He worked for one when he came back and then got a job offer working for this one. But he started working for this company during the whole vid situation. And so they had him working from home, teleworking, and they've never needed him to come back. He's been able to do telework ever since. Now, every so often he would have to go into the office for things, but it's very rare. And so because of that, he was given approval that we could move wherever we wanted. Well, we could move here and he could still continue to work. Even when we were in Alabama, he would occasionally go on business trips here and there, different military installations that we'd have to go and do stuff with the aircraft on. But he just flies out of Fort Smith as opposed to flying out of Huntsville, Alabama. So for this job, we wouldn't be moving. I mean, we moved because we wanted to, you know what I mean? But now in the Army, you didn't really have much of a choice. Now you could put in, you have like a wish list of places you would like to get stationed, but usually it's up to the needs of the military of where you actually get stationed, unless you're re-enlisting and you re-enlist with the new assignment as part of your contract. Sometimes you can do that. We did that and got Alaska. That's how we were able to get stationed up there. And it was a dream. We loved it. We'd always wanted to go to Alaska. And throughout my husband's Army career, they did not have his aircraft there that he worked on. And so we couldn't get stationed in Alaska. And then the last few years, they moved his aircraft to Alaska, and there was a unit there for the first time, and we got the orders to go, and we were so excited. We loved living up there. It was such an adventure, and it was so beautiful. Carolyn asks, what made you decide to move to Arkansas? I have a video all about that tells, it's a story. But the short version is it was the Lord. But look for the video. It is called Giving Up Our Homestead, Leaving Alabama. If you do a search for that, you'll hear the whole story. It was the video where I announced that we were moving. Because up to that, I had kept it a secret. I hadn't told anybody. Barely, not even hardly any of our friends knew. Our family knew, of course, but very few people did. Because we were trying to keep it on the down low to surprise people. Julie, I bet that was nice that you were finally able to select your own town without restrictions. Yes. It's very freeing. Oh, George's Garden says we did get a base of preference one time. We choose Northern California. It was so beautiful. Then 9/11 happened and he was gone most of the time. Yeah. Northern California is gorgeous. It is beautiful. We traveled through there when we were coming back from Alaska, when we moved from Alaska to Alabama. We drove down, came down the Alaska Highway through Canada, through the Yukon and all that, came down through Washington State, into Oregon, and then we hit Northern California specifically so we could see the redwood forest, and just see, because that was kind of like on my bucket list. I'd always wanted to see the great redwoods, and so we did that, and then headed east across the country to Alabama. Let's see. What is the name of your little wood herb chopping block and knife? Are you talking about the curved one? Are you talking about this knife? And the board that I have that it goes with, or that I use with this? If it's this one, it is called an ulu. U-L-U. U-L-U. And it is, okay, yes. So this is a native Alaskan knife, although I'm sure they use something like this in like Canada and stuff like that. I have a video, actually, old video, where I talked about this because people were always like, what is that weird knife? But it's called an ulu, and it is, mine's a little dirty, dusty. I need to polish it off. But this one I have, it's very sharp. This one's made out of caribou antler, and so is the base. But very handy for chopping and just rocking back and forth. It's similar to a mezuzah knife. Those usually have two handles, and you rock them back and forth just to finely chop things. And I do have a mezuzah knife, and it's got two blades parallel for like super finely chopping things. But this came from Alaska, and the website actually where I got this is, I think it's the Wood Bowl Company. If you do a search, the video where I talked about these knives, I know I put a link to the store where I got these. They sell them in Alaska, and they have different ones. Like they've got ones with wood handles and stuff like that. I really like this because I think it's more durable. It will last a long time. But there's like an old, like the mythology or customs up there in Alaska was that the women would use these, and they would use these for everything, like skinning bears and chopping up meat and butchering moose and all that stuff. And the idea was that the mother would use one and she would pass it down to her daughter and on, and that the skills that the mother had would be passed down through the ulu to the next generation. Oh, Boston Rock says, I have a knife similar to that with a wooden bowl that I bought from Lehman's. Very cool. Yeah, it's handy. It's very handy. And to be honest, though, sometimes I forget that I have it. I don't know. I have a few knives. Do a lot of cooking. Oh, and I hear my phone ringing, and that would be Mr. Smith. One moment. Let me grab my phone real quick. Oop. And I missed the call. So I'm going to have to call him back. He is traveling. He's visiting. He's going airport by airport. So I'm going to have to call him back here in just a second. I missed it. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. But before I do, real quick, tomorrow, 12 Central Time, 1 Eastern Time, there's going to be another live stream, but this is going to be not just me, but my friend Heather, the Needy Homesteader, is going to jump on here, and we are going to talk about a very timely topic, I think, and something that she and I have been discussing quite a bit the past couple months, actually, and we've been talking about wanting to get on here together and talk about this. So tomorrow, noon Central Time, 1 Eastern, you can join us, and we will we'll have another live chat. And this time, my friend Heather will be with me, the Needy Homesteader. So, thanks everybody for hanging out with me. Again, all of the stickers, all the Cosmopolitan Cornbread stickers, the Faith stickers, the magnets, all this stuff is in my Etsy shop. And again, if you joined in later and you didn't hear the announcement, coffee mugs will be available beginning of September. And that will also be on my Etsy shop. So, and all the different colors. I don't remember how many mugs I have. I have a box of them up there that I had stashed aside. But the mugs will all go on sale in September. So that is it for today, guys. Thanks again for hanging out with me, spending some time with me here. I got to call Mr. Smith back. So I will talk to y'all next time. Have a great evening. Shalom.